Hello and welcome to Galactic Developments. Galactic Developments is a history of the future told in many events on a common timeline. Year 2471. Fashion War on Venus. The so-called Fashion War, also known as the Retro Incident or the 10-Minute War, is a military conflict between two floating cities in the upper Venus atmosphere, Tabo IV and Nueva Mesilla. The violent exchange results in unexpectedly high damage and a large loss of lives, 14,288 temporary casualties that are restored from backups, but also 1,598 permanent deaths. Tabo IV, the old former Brazilian dome habitat, is attacked by Ciudad Nueva Mesilla, a bubble raft. Both habitats are badly damaged in the process. Tabo sinks into deeper layers of the Venus atmosphere due to vacuum loss and must be abandoned. This happens so quickly that a large part of the biological population cannot be evacuated. Almost everyone has backups. Many, however, lose months or years of memories and of course their biological bodies. Nueva Mesilla undertakes an emergency fragmentation, distributing the population over still operable segments. A third of the habitat is lost with little loss of life. At first glance, this conflict is about the leadership in the fashion industry. The inner system is very rich in energy and resources. Venus dwellers can afford to spend most of their day with leisure and entertainment. So, fashion and lifestyle trends are important economic factors. Nueva Mesilla is a founding member of the Cyclist Working Group, a network of tradition-oriented habitats. Cyclists have taken on the role of conservatives. The past 5 centuries have shown that nothing stays the same, but trends keep repeating themselves. New developments in art, fashion, entertainment, and philosophy adopt previous trends, mixing and modifying them to create the next wave. Permanent change is the constant. Classic conservatism has been replaced by cyclism, a dynamic variant of conservative thinking that has come to terms with change and uses it as long as the changes stay within established boundaries. In contrast, Amadistas like the Council of Tabo IV reject the notion of economic cycles, fashion trends, and meme waves. The Amethyst movement, Sendero Amado, after Cecilia Amado, primarily recruits young people under the age of 100, who have gone through many waves, without anything having substantially changed in their life. Amadistas try to break the cycles. The situation is exacerbated by the fact that the technical development stagnated in the 25th century. There has been progress, for example in space modulation, but people's everyday lives in the wealthy communities of Venus have not changed for a long time. The generation that came to economic and political power 100 years ago during the establishment of humanity in the solar system is still in control. This generation is over 120 years old, often 150 years. Some still have their biological bodies, though many are now uploading and living on as androids. The youths under 100 see no way to displace the older generation. This so-called expendable generation has become desperate and radicalized. The conflict between cyclists and Sendero Amado has worsened over the last 50 years. Cecilia Amado was one of the first trying to counter cyclism with spectacular disruptions. In the end, she failed. Since then, however, the movement has become exceedingly popular. In some Venus habitats, Amadistas have even been able to displace cyclists as the ruling party. Mostly through internal hostile takeovers using toxic memes associated with excessive psychological violence. The current fashion war has been sparked by a disruption carried out by Tabo against Nueva Mesilla. The disruption has discredited a new fashion memeplex, called Retro, which the Cyclists Workgroup, led by Nueva Mesilla, had created at great cost. Tabo's activities caused damage to the new retro trend, drastically reducing Nueva Mesilla's reputation. As Nueva Mesilla's exchange rates at reputation exchanges begin to fall, both habitats start using military weapons almost simultaneously. From Nueva Mesilla's point of view, it is the only way to show predominance in an otherwise hopeless situation. For Tabo, on the other hand, it is a preemptive strike against a fallen and already isolated star. Both habitats use non-nuclear hypersonic missiles as attack weapons. The defense comprises a multi-layer ceramic pellet storm, high-speed defense pods with laser armament, and ECM, electronic countermeasures. For hypersonic weapons, the habitats are only 2 minutes apart. The exchange is largely automated. Other habitats do not intervene. After a short time, the damage done is so severe that the hostilities must be stopped. This exchange of blows is an impressive demonstration of modern warfare. The conflict between cyclists and Amadistas continues. The retro trend ends before it starts. The generational problem remains unsolved. This was Galactic Developments, year 2471. I am a physicist and I have always been interested in history. That's a good combination for the history of the future. I want to stay as close as possible to reality. Above all, this applies to technology, which should be scientifically sound, or at least reasonably explainable. But it also applies to social and economic developments. If you think that I have presented something unrealistically, write me in the comments. Or, if I've raised more questions than I've answered, please also ask me in the comments. If you like the video, please hit the like button. If you subscribe and click the bell icon, you'll be notified of new episodes. Of course, sharing on social media would be nice. More events from the future can be found at galactic-developments.com. If you have a futuristic topic you'd like me to discuss, drop me a line. If you want to use an idea or add something yourself, feel free to do so. There are already hundreds of events, but I would love to read other stories from this future. Write me if I can help. The future starts now.